Here's a great mystery. Imagine you could vary the laws of physics. You can make gravity a bit stronger or a bit weaker, or say, change the mass of the electron. Because everything in the universe is connected to everything else, there'd be flow-on effects. The bottom line is, complex life, like you and me, wouldn't be able to exist. Begs the question, has the universe been set up for us?
It looks like the universe is fine-tuned for our existence because any small change in any fundamental constant would mean we wouldn't be here. Now, for some people, that sounds religious, but in fact, it's kind of a version of cosmic natural selection, if you want, cosmic evolution.
This cosmic evolution requires the very sci-fi concept of parallel universes, where our universe is just one of many. Collectively, they're called the multiverse.
Each different universe within the multiverse could have different laws of physics. And that's really interesting because it could mean in that case that the laws that we see here are not fundamental at all. They're just an accident, an environmental accident.
In our universe, the accident was just right for life like us. That's the theory of cosmic evolution. So, mystery solved, you might say. But what's the origin of this multiverse? Well, it could have been there wasn't just one big bang. Maybe there were many, each giving rise to a different universe.
Our current best idea of what happened in the early universe is this idea called inflation that says our universe expanded very, very fast in a very short time. But in fact, as a result, that means there could be other regions in the universe that did the same thing and are forever beyond our horizon. We'll never see them. And in fact, there could be an infinite number of different universes that are causally disconnected.
To imagine this multiverse, think of boiling water.
It's kind of like a pot of water, and you're heating up the water and then you get these bubbles. And so inflation acts like to get this bubble at the bottom of a pot of water and go really big.
Each of those bubbles grows into a separate universe.
The other possibility for multiverse comes from recent ideas from particle physics, which suggest perhaps that there may be extra dimensions in nature. And it's possible that there could be other universes literally a millimeter away in an extra dimension and we wouldn't know about it.
Remarkably, the atom smasher at CERN could find them. Physicists would go wild.
Absolutely amazing. That is a massive discovery. I mean, something beyond any of our dreams right now.
These extra dimensions would explain a mystery about that force that holds the universe together, gravity. Why is it weaker than theory predicts? Because we only feel a fraction of its full force.
So there may well be that gravity that we're seeing appears very weak because it's just a leakage from the higher dimensions into our world.
If the higher dimensions theory is true, many black holes will appear in the collisions at CERN.
We may be able to create black holes because we connect with those higher extra dimensions.
Now let's get this straight. We're not talking about Earth-eating black holes like these. Rather, miniature ones that evaporate as soon as they're created.
We should be able to create these mini black holes and they'll have a fairly distinct signature in the detector.
Find that signature, and there might be other universes hidden in those extra dimensions.
There could be an infinite number of three-dimensional or four-dimensional universes like our own embedded in that larger space. So not far removed in our three-dimensional world, but far removed, or maybe even close up, in a little extra dimension, just above your nose.
Now, if what you've heard so far is threatening your sanity, I've got some bad news. This next multiverse theory is the strangest of all. The many worlds interpretation of quantum physics. It is bizarre.
When I first became aware of this, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's very wacky, no doubt about it. Very difficult for us to really get to grips with what it means.
It seemed to me to be superfluous and even kind of shocking and frightening.
In the many worlds theory, for every one of us, there is a multitude of duplicates.
So that there are an infinite number of other universes, quantum universes, but I picked the one I live in by observing it.
Confused? Well, maybe an analogy will help. When you toss a coin, conventional thinking says it lands on either heads or tails. But imagine, just before it lands, the world splits in two. In one world, the coin lands on heads, and in the other, it's tails. That's the essence of the many worlds interpretation.
Anytime there could be multiple outcomes, different measurement results that we can observe, then both of those results actually occur.
And so, in a sense, we also split into different versions of us.
Then there must be other copies of you, other copies of me, having this conversation in slightly different ways.
There could be an infinite number of Graham Phillips. There could be an infinite number of me. There could be a universe in which I'm interviewing you.
Could we ever meet our double?
This is something that everyone thinks about. We don't talk about it very much in our lectures. We don't tell our students about it. But it is something that we think about.
Excitingly, it can't be absolutely ruled out. And in case you're wondering, quantum physics is no fringe theory.
It's an incredibly successful theory, and quantum mechanics has never been falsified.
What gets me the more I've gotten into quantum is the fact that it actually makes sense to me now.
So there's no shortage of multiverse theories. In fact, an embarrassment of riches, really. How can we prove these other worlds exist if we can never visit them?
So the problem with this idea of the multiverse is it sounds great, but you got to be able to test things. So, we have science or we have metaphysics. So metaphysics is sort of, it seems good, but we have no way of testing it.
But CERN may be able to separate the multiverse from the metaphysics by coming up with a brand new theory that explains our universe very well.
Maybe it explains everything we can see, but one of the predictions is also that there are other universes that we can't see. We'd probably say it's physics, because we say it explains everything we see, so the predictions we can't see, we're willing to believe.
Then, the mystery of why our universe seems to have been set up for us would have been scientifically solved.